It's like weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like weird just talking to that, but now like you're staring at me, it's like way worse.
Yeah.
It's hot as shit.
Do it again. Calm down, dude.
I don't like it. Alright. Hey everyone, it's Rudy from Not Your Average Nerds. Alright, this is my first movie recommendation Monday. I filmed this already, but after filming with Juan, it just seemed very out of place. I figured reshoot it with Juan, and this way he can help me out and give me the information that I need, like based on the movie. Which he probably doesn't even have pulled up on his phone.
I don't.
For my first MRM episode, I'm actually going to go with what I consider to be a classic, which is The Warriors, which debuted in 1979. I remember we watched it a long time ago with our dad. Most of the movies that we've watched or that we came across, our dad showed us. He was like the movie head before we were. So with that, thank you, Dad. You showed us a lot of good stuff. So like I said, The Warriors came out in 1979, and it was directed by Walter Hill. The cast isn't really all-star. I think the most notable actor... it's hot as shit. I don't like it. James Remar. He played a character named Ajax in the movie. You may recognize him from Pineapple Express, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. He played Raiden, which wasn't a good movie. But a lot of people have seen the Mortal Kombat movies. Yeah, so he came in, he played smaller roles in movies, some of them good, some of them bad. But I think he would be the most notable actor to come out of the entire movie, because the rest of the cast, I have no clue who they were. I know Swan was in Walker, Texas Ranger, because Grandpa. Well, anyways, they got the idea for The Warriors based off of the story of the 300 Spartans who held off the Persian army. And they liked the concept of a small group of soldiers taking on a vast army that surrounded them. So they came through and they almost went with a comic book feel to it for the 70s, and they re-released it with a actual special edition where they do cuts where it's like
Comic panels.
yeah, like comic panels. The movie's about a gang named the Riffs, who is led by this one and only Cyrus. He's like the king of kings when it comes to gangs, and he has this idea, this concept where he wants to bring all of the gangs of New York together to forget about turf, forget about colors and everything, and run New York City. Oh, man, it's hot. Now I see why you're always dying up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you had the window open.
The window is open.
Cyrus had a dream where there were no colors, no turf, no fighting gangs. He wanted all the gangs to come in together as one giant gang to take over New York City. He's one of the lines is,
"Can you count, suckers? I say the future is ours. If you can count 60,000 soldiers. Now, there ain't but 20,000 police in the whole town. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?"
in his mind, they would topple over the cops, even though the government would send him. They would get annihilated. His plan was horrible. But so the movie follows a gang named the Warriors from Coney Island, and they know that the Riffs and Cyrus want to have this big meetup with all the gangs. It's in a real beat up area though.
Probably Brooklyn.
Anyways, the Warriors catch the subway to where the meet is, And they, in the beginning of the movie, they're talking about, okay, he doesn't want anybody going strapped, which means no guns, no weapons. And they were having 9 delegates, right?
Yeah, you get to take 9.
Yeah, you get to take 9 of your soldiers with you. And when they arrive there, there's all these gangs that they had run-ins with previously. There's gangs like Hi-Hats, the Moonrunners,
Van Cortlandt Rangers.
Van Cortlandt Rangers. They're all taking part of this this big meetup, and spoiler alert, don't get too attached to Cyrus.
Nobody's wasted nobody.
Yeah, so Cyrus is giving this huge speech, getting all these, I don't know, all these delinquents all riled up, believing in this big dream and this big cause. And long story short, he gets shot off his little jungle gym. And lands on all these crates. He gets killed, and they blame the Warriors.
He's the one! The Warriors did it! The Warriors did it! The Warriors did it! The Warriors did it!
That's the beginning of the movie. That's what starts the whole conflict and everything. And from there, the Warriors are on enemy turf because now the truce is done, and they have to make their way back to Coney Island from the park that Cyrus was just shot, and there's a price on their head from the Gramercy Rifts. The movie is just about them trying to make it back home. The writers did a really good job at making each character kind of stand out. They had their own personalities and everything. Like Rembrandt, he was like the newest member. He's a squirrely guy, but they use him to tag up all the area. Ajax
Sucks.
Ajax.
No,
Rembrandt. Yeah,
oh my God.
Rembrandt sucks. Okay, Ajax though, he's the muscle, which is played by James Remar. Raiden.
Yeah.
Insert clip of the backflips. Anyways, so Ajax is the muscle. Swan is what is it, Warlord or
War Chief?
War Chief. Yeah, Ajax. I want to be Warlord. So Swan is War Chief, which he's the second command, taking behind Cleon.
Yeah.
Don't get attached to Cleon either.
That dude gets some elbows.
That dude, yeah, they the Gramercy Rifts do him dirty. And then you have characters like Snow, Cochise, and Cowboy, which you could probably guess he's a dude with a cowboy hat. But yeah, it's really cool just watching all of their characters kind of clash and the way they bring them all together and how they have to support each other to get back home, which is the main goal of the movie. Actually, I'll talk about a fan favorite first, which they're probably my favorite gang in the entire movie. Is the scene of the Baseball Furies. The Baseball Furies are a gang of... They're not even really clowns.
No. They're like mimes. They don't say anything.
Okay, well, let me reiterate. The whole movie is very comic booky, at least for the time period. The Baseball Furies are a very out there gang. They're these baseball players. They wear suits that say the Furies, and they have painted faces. It's almost like war paint, kind of like the Joker. And they're... When I was younger, they were kind of spooky because they don't say anything, and they're just there to fuck shit up. They just want to fight you, and... like I said, there's a bounty on the Warriors' heads now, so they want to take them out. They want to get the money from the Rifts for bringing in the Warriors, just like everybody else. And that is a fan favorite scene because the Furies are the Furies. They're probably the coolest gang in the movie. I will say though, the action sequences in the movie were very lacking. Alright, so that was probably the most widely loved scene of the movie with the Baseball Furies. Now, onto my personal favorite. I think my favorite movie, or my favorite scene of the entire movie, would be the run-in with a lesser-known gang named the Orphans.
The Orphans, right? Yeah, our youth worker, she talks about you guys all the time. We ain't got one.
The Orphans are just this gang who thinks they're big league, but they're still very small scale. They're all very dirty for some odd reason, and when they run into them, they don't know anything about the truce. They don't know anything about the meeting.
How could this be a big meeting if the Orphans wasn't there?
I don't know, there's just something so memorable about the Orphans. They're just really goofy, and they don't have any respect for what they think they do. I don't know. It's just they're a funny gang, which I like. So that is my personal favorite scene. But yeah, as the movie goes on, things get more intense. They find more hardcore gangs. They get they run into deception, and not only are the gangs chasing them down, but the cops are as well. But yeah, I mean, it's a really good movie. A lot of people may have seen it already, but then again, I know a lot of people who haven't took the time to watch it. They may have heard it, they may have seen clips of it, but regardless, it's a really good movie. I think it's well worth your time. Another reason why this movie means so much to me, and probably my siblings as well, it came with the story from our father. My dad, when he was younger, he actually saw this movie in theaters with his friends. And back then, watching it now, it's very, like I said, it's comic booky. You wouldn't think that there's all these gangs running around and stuff, but I guess back then it was very much like that. And our dad told us a story about him and his friends went to go watch The Warriors. They loved it. My dad was the type who, when he saw a movie, he came out acting like the character. Like if he went and watched Rocky, he came out punching, thinking he could fight anybody. So my dad was very much that guy, which I love that about my dad. And he said that when him and his friends saw The Warriors, the very next day, I want to say, my grandmother took him to a t-shirt shop in the mall, I want to say, and made them these shirts that said the Dragons on them, and it had a dragon on it. It said the Dragons. They all had black shirts, and my dad had the gray shirt. And if you know anything about the Warriors, if you've seen the Warriors, or if you watch it, look at all the gangs. Everybody has one guy who stands out. So my dad was the leader. And so they go to school wearing these shirts, and everything's going all peachy, everything's going good for them until lunchtime hits. At lunchtime, an actual gang comes up to them. So they come up to them on the playground and they look at them and say, "Hey, y'all want to rumble?" And so they calmly decline the offer to rumble. And the guy looks at me and said, "What, y'all a gang, right?" And he's like, "No, we're a club." So I love my dad to death, but him and his friends got punked out back in the day on the schoolyard. He tells them that we're a club. The guy lets them off easy. He's like, "All right, don't wear that shit around here no more." And they never wore the shirts to school again, but they would wear them in his basement at home. But yeah, so we always thought that was hilarious. Our dad used to tell us about that, and we just crack up all the time. If you haven't watched it, please do yourself a favor and do us a favor. Go watch it. It's really good. And then come back, let us know, like I said, favorite scene, favorite character. Yeah, I think that's it. So,
All right.
yeah, like I said, let us know what you think. If you haven't, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And then be sure to watch Juan's video, which will be airing the same Monday as this one. So, yeah, cheers.